6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us in another installment of Come Grow With Me. With me is my esteemed guest, Lea Oglesby, the mother of 2 beautiful daughters, Teen and Teen, a wife of 16 years, and the founder of Clear Cut Directions. Thank you for joining me again, Lea.
Angela.
Today, our topic is, it's better sometimes. Operative word, sometimes.
Yes.
Better to be kind than right. Sometimes. So today we're going to focus on how we can encourage people to spread kindness around like confetti. Woo! But don't you feel like sometimes though, when you're kind, Lea, you feel like something is being taken away from you? I know I feel like that sometimes. By the way, my name is Angela Gibson. I am the founder of Abraham's Consulting, a IT consultancy, and the platform Eve Speaks. And the subsection of this is Come Grow With Me. We are encouraging people to be relentless about personal growth and becoming the next best version of themselves. So as I was saying, while it sounds really noble to be kind rather than right, there are times when I feel like when I'm kind, something is being taken from me, like I'm being robbed or something. And I know it's not true, but I feel like that often. Can you relate? Can anybody out there relate?
I'm sure many people can relate. I think it's great that we're choosing this topic because it's not an easy topic. And I like the topics we choose because there's always a little meat to them. Is there something that you have specifically in mind where you had to kind of just sit in your kindness instead of being right?
Well, I'm thinking of this time with one of my actually she's a client that I've had for a while, and I'd never really met her. It was one of those phone client kind of situations. And she is a city government employee, and there's this mandate in New York where you, as a small business, are given the advantage of being able to bid on opportunities where you wouldn't get ordinarily because of the disparity that we all know that exists. So in this case, she was directed to include small businesses like me, but she already had a manufacturer that she typically uses and she would have preferred to use. But because she's being told that she must include small businesses so they can at least get the opportunity, not that they're guaranteed the business, the opportunity to win, I don't think she really wanted to do it. So when the manufacturer or the prime that she typically uses wasn't delivering, it was easier for her to blame me, even though all the proof in email and in conversation were there. She refused to look at the proof and then was accusing me of not following through. And I kept saying, but don't you see like the emails? Don't you see like what's happening? And she was belligerent. And usually this lady is so calm and so nice. I mean, the softest voice, but that day was another story, to the point where I felt myself getting so like hot. When you get so angry.
My gosh. I get hot. I get red. I get weepy. I get weepy. I'm so and yet when I get in that situation, I'm like, and as soon as I know that I'm going to get weepy, I'm like, oh, they're going to think I'm weak. And I know I'm not weak, but I'm just so passionate.
Yes, I know that feeling too. So I had to get my partner to get on the phone so that I could just keep it together.
Thank God for partners.
And he got on the phone, and sure enough, I'm in the room and she tells him that I cursed her out. Oh my gosh. And because he's known me forever, he's like, I don't know why Angela's even taking this deal. She should throw it back in the sea with the other fish. Because he was just like, but the minute he heard that, he known me all these years and I'd never cursed, that he's never cursed. He was just like, this lady, she's got to go. So I was glad to be rescued in that way. But if he were not here, he wasn't here, I would have gotten caught up in, I felt like something was being taken from me because I couldn't defend myself the way I really wanted to.
Right. And as a business owner,
Yeah.
You are representative of your whole company, past, present, future.
Yes.
And it's just that one off day. It's like there's a quote that says it takes a lifetime to build a reputation and a moment to lose it.
I'm telling you. I
And
feel emotions right now.
reliving the situation. My situation was, you know how we as women kind of can turn into mother bear when it comes to our children. And my oldest daughter had a teacher a few years ago, and this teacher was very politically incorrect in the classroom and said very inappropriate things. And my oldest daughter is very about fairness and inclusion, like love everyone, no matter what. And when kids were gone, she would say inappropriate things about them. And, just things that weren't historically correct. And Novi would come home and she's like, I'm not going, this woman would be unfair. Not only just to Novi, but to other classmates too. But my oldest daughter would feel it for everyone. And so she'd say, I'm never going to let the teacher see me cry. But then she would come home and she would be so sad when she was telling the story. And there's just things that just shouldn't be influenced onto an elementary school child. And I went in and I requested a meeting. But because this teacher had been teaching for 20 years, and I found out that she had these parental talks with other parents through past years, she just had the seniority. And I was told, but the mediator, who was a school counselor, was new. It was her first year. So she was trying to be so right and so politically correct and so like do all the therapy responses. And when I told her the situation, it was like she was filtering it through her job was on the line. This is her new job and she has to defend the teacher.
Wow.
And so she refused to give her opinion. I said, all I'm asking is, do you believe this to be a proper behavior from a teacher to a child? She would not answer.
Oh my.
And I said, I'm not saying you need to take sides. I'm not saying that you have to do anything about it. Just woman to woman. I'm just asking, do you as a woman agree that this is appropriate behavior for a teacher to go towards a student? And she would not answer. And just that lack of response, that lack of personal responsibility, the lack of courage to say what you think.
Yeah.
And I knew she agreed with me, but I knew that fear was just causing her. And I said, you know what? I can't do the talk then, because you're not a mediator. You're a protector.
Wow.
You're not going for fairness. But I was hot, red, weepy, and I left defeated. So I wanted to fight to be right. I wanted to fight to be right. And
because you did confront her, you did say why you thought that. You asked her the pivotal question, which whether or not she answered, an implied answer, because we all know it's not appropriate for a teacher to deal with a child like that.
Right.
So why do you think you left it feeling defeated?
Because I was never given the opportunity to talk directly to the teacher.
Okay.
I
understand but the fact that you confronted that woman and asked the question to leave her thinking, I think that was a win.
But the ultimate issue did not get solved in the school, and I feel protective not only for my own children but for the children following. And that choice to let it go and trust that God's got someone else down the line to do something about it. I don't know.
You find it harder to be kind woman to woman? Do you find that it's harder or not necessarily? I don't know. I'm just asking.
I find it harder to be, I find it really easy to be kind to the weak, you know, to those who really, I'm a very helpful person. And even if a woman is being like kind of mean to her kids, if she's in a tough situation and I know she's in a tough situation, I can go in and I can be compassionate and kind, even though, you know, I might not approve of her parenting techniques.
Okay.
You know.
I get it. So another situation is when to be kind, which I guess would be that situation, kind at the wrong moment. I had a victory today because as you know, I work from home and it gets pretty intense in this office. Clients calling, employees and all over the world on the phone asking me questions about, quote, what's the markup, Angela? What price should we charge this client? And my daughter rushes in my office as she normally does. The doors are locked, but she don't care about that because she knows how to push it open. She comes and she says, Mommy, look, my teeth is shaking. She's 5. Her first tooth is shaking. And she thought that was so important. Generally, I have been more irritated with stuff like that, especially when I'm in the middle of something. But for her today, I'm so glad I caught myself. And I was able to turn around the chair, cup her face and say, oh, Rachel, you're becoming a big girl. And she was so pleased. In her world, it's the biggest deal. So yeah, I caught myself today because typically it's so easy and it's hard to be kind at the wrong moment, I should say. And it doesn't sound right to be able to say, be kind at the wrong moment, because it doesn't seem like there should be a wrong moment to be kind.
Right.
Things converge. The doorbell is ringing, client on the phone. My daughter wants me to check her tooth. You know, food is on the stove. And because you're home from school, then sometimes it can feel really hard to be kind in the moment. So then the moment becomes the wrong moment, so to speak.
Right.
So that's one of the challenge. Another area is to be kind in relationships, not necessarily romantic relationships, but just relationships in general. When you have like a good friend and you butt heads and you want to be honest, and you are, but if you don't go straight for it, it's almost like you're letting them off the hook. So can you give me an example, if you have one? You may not, when you felt like if you're too kind, then the person won't get it, so you really have to go for it and be almost a little bit harsh.
Oh goodness. Oh, it's just like there's a proverb there's a proverb that says an honest answer is like a kiss on the lips, but there's another one that says to some, you know, when you're speaking the truth, you're like the smell of death. You know, to the ones who are ready, you're like a fragrance. But you know, it's like it all depends on where people are at. And relationship wise, gosh, if I don't, is it a kindness just to step away from the situation?
Well, I have a story where I was trying to be honest, and we went over it with this woman, and I thought we were going to be great friends. I mean, this really broke my heart because up to today we're still like, and it's really hard because I felt like I tried everything to make it come back together, and it just never did.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to explain, I tried to ask, well, can we resolve it? Can we get someone involved to mediate? I did all of those things. And it's today, it's the strain. You feel a strain when, you know, when we're in each other's presence. And I'm like,
I had a similar relationship. We had a similar faith. We had kids the same age, both daughters the same age. Both love God, both love scriptures. Both had worked for churches at different times. And I don't even know what I did to change the relationship. And I kept asking, and then it would kind of make peace. And then we moved just like 6 miles away, but it puts you in a whole different school system and everything. And then there'd be no response to my texts. I just didn't understand it. It's like, I'm like, okay. So, and it's not always easy to be kind, because like,
it's not always what?
It's not always easy to be kind, because
No.
your feelings are hurt. Your own personal feelings are hurt.
Oh my God.
So, because we had moved and because we hadn't chatted and it had to deal with like a birthday party or invitation to an event coming up, I texted the husband to see if he would reply back. And he did like that. Oh no, that's her number.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. But I just had to resolve to be like, okay, I don't know why it was so important for me to fight for the friendship. Like clearly it wasn't as important to her, and that's hurtful to my emotions. But there's other people. There's, why torture yourself? Why be so desperate to be liked that you go after the person that's not gonna treat you with respect?
Simone says it's hard to be kind when people are wrong, yet cocky and unrepentant, like they have power to get away with it.
Yeah,
it really is. Jeez. So yeah, I do feel this need. I guess because I'm trying so hard to be like Jesus. I feel like I need to make it my business to work it out to because I'm trying to grow and I want to work on myself. But no matter how much I try, this hasn't worked. So hi, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa. But the fact that what Simone said about dealing with people who are cocky and unrepentant, this is a good point with what the whole purpose of the show is like, come grow with me. It's all about personal growth. And just like that relationship that I just discussed, I don't know why it was so important for me to be liked by this person, but I had to resolve it. And in this world where so many different things are happening right now, politically, environmentally, nationally, peace, war, racism, politics, religion, all of it is like everybody has chosen their side, and everybody's being very careful. Like, some people aren't being very careful. They're on their like little comments and they're just like going for it. But like in the heart of Come Grow With Us, anytime I read something that is kind of shocking, or even if I see an article on a product that is like the new like great thing, like the aging face app. This is a very light topic. The new face app that ages you. Everybody jumped on board, and I was like, there is something weird that everybody's jumping on board. Something like this. Like, usually the whole world doesn't want to look old.
Right.
True. But so I typed into Google, I'm like, adverse reactions to new face app, aging face app. And came up with some articles that say that the creation is not within the country. It could be, it opens the door to your information. But I do that also with politicians. Like, if somebody is like really avidly for a politician that I am really avidly not for, I will go and like research their viewpoint just so I have the knowledge, and I won't be considered closed-minded.
Right.
And so that I don't debate. I hardly ever debate anyway, but like, if I need to stand my ground on a particular topic, I want to be armed with both sides of the argument.
And that's part of the growth process, the fact that you're willing to do the research and to keep an open mind.
And that's the thing that helps me be kind in those kind of discussions.
Right.
Because they can see that I've read their viewpoint as well. Right. And so, we don't know what's going to end up being right or wrong. I mean, this is a whole growth process. This world is undergoing a whole change. It's like, if we could only focus on the things that would protect the planet instead of appease our needs in the now, that would be great. But
Yeah, if
there's
only
a lot
we
of
focused on spreading kindness around like confetti. It'd be so
like
much.
confetti. If
Confetti just keeps going over my head.
you've ever had a party and you're cleaning up that confetti and you're angry that it's behind the couches, you can say it's just kindness. It's just kindness.
Just kindness. Simone says, I do that too with people who have difficulty with political opinions. Is that what she said? I do that too with people who have difficult political opinions. See?
Yeah.
Who's on the growth path for sure. Another thing that I want to bring, I just wanted to encourage people to definitely check out the link that will be scrolling across the screen for our free coaching program, which is for a limited time. And also, if you have teens or tween, please contact Lea Oglesby as she gives teens and tweens clear-cut direction to navigate that difficult area in their lives as they fight to grow. Because that's the purpose of our platform. Go ahead.
I know that we're wrapping up. I just, in giving clear-cut direction for this kind of growth on this particular topic, there are books, there's library apps for audiobooks and real books, but how to deal with difficult people. You can simply Google in your search engine how to deal with argumentative people, narcissistic people, any topic, like any person in your life that you're having an issue with, that you are feeling like you're right and you want to be right, but you can't be kind and you don't know how to deal with the conversation. Just Google the question. That's the whole point of this, is learn to seek your own personal growth, and you will not only grow in your kindness, but your wisdom and your ability to speak to people, and God can use you more to help a larger number of people.
That is a great tip. Google the question.
Google the question.
I usually Google like a word, but not the question. That's a great See, I just learned something. I really did. I've never thought of doing it that way. So thank you for joining us in this episode of Come Grow With Me. And share your comments below. Tell us when there's a time when you are struggling with being right rather than kind. And let me just say again that it's sometimes that it's better to be kind than right. Sometimes you really have to stand up for being right. And that is just us needing to have the courage to be willing to be right when it needs to be so.
That's right.
And always give up being right to be kind, because then that creates another set of problems. So I want to make sure that we remember that the operative word is sometimes, because I'm just not going to be.
Okay, we're wrapping up. I'm taking no control.
I'm not going to do that. I'm just not a people pleaser like that, because again, we're fighting to grow. And being a people pleaser is just not the way to go if you're trying to be this version of yourself.
One last phrase. You can say it in a way that is kind. Sometimes we say our point in a tone, and people are expecting you to come back at them, and they're raring for a fight, but they won't expect kindness. And sometimes you can really diffuse the situation and even make it humorous and laugh about it. You don't have to compromise your viewpoint. You can just say, something funny that's like, okay, you live in your world, I'll live in mine, and we'll meet on the weekends, kind of thing. So
yeah, you see that lesson right there? I have to learn it really well. I can be a bit of a bulldozer, but I'm really trying though. I'm really trying. But in my business is where I find it the hardest, because you get these vendors that come on the phone with nonsense, and I'm like, oh Lord.
So crew, everybody who's listening, thank you for joining us at Come Grow With Us. This is Angela and Lea, and we hope that you will go to our respective pages and do your comments and questions. And if there's a topic that you want to learn more about, please feel free to write on Eve Speaks. Peace beyond the splinter. Thank you.
Peace beyond the splinter. Reclaim your promise of peace and profit from anxiety's grip through prayer. Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. Okay, good night, people.
Good night. Bye-bye. Thank you, Lea. Great to
Bye.
have you.
Have a good night.
Okay.